All right, again, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Delco Pro-Am Summer Men's Basketball League. I'm Aaron Ortega, joined by Simon Rosenwasser. And Simon, 3 big games coming up tonight. Radano's got 2 of them. In the first game, they'll be taking on a HiFi House team that's shown the ability to get out and run. And the one thing we were talking about before the game, that's going to be one of the big keys for HiFi House in this one.
Well, certainly, coming down towards the end of the regular season, there's playoff implications now. So now every game is more important than in the beginning of the season. So for HiFi House, stay out of foul trouble. Key number 1. Last night, Shannon Givens getting into a little bit of foul trouble, and it certainly inhibited them a little bit in playing the game that they want to play. So if they can stay out of foul trouble, play aggressive defense, but make sure that they don't get into foul trouble, it'll help them in the game. Run in transition. Utilize their speed off of a Radano team who has some trouble on the transition defense, getting back on defense. They had a little bit of trouble with PTP earlier in the year, getting back on defense, and PTP was able to run the transition game and run it well on them. So if HiFi House plays the way that they like to play in transition, they'll be all right. It's a do-or-die situation. HiFi House currently tied right now with KLM Insurance for the 8th spot, the 8th and final playoff spot. KLM should beat Trad Jazz tonight. So assuming HiFi House has to assume that KLM is going to beat Trad Jazz tonight, and if they win, they have a good chance of being in the playoffs. If they lose, they could find themselves on the outside looking in.
And on the flip side of that, Radano, another team that's currently right in that playoff mix for that bottom 7 or 8 teams, as again, only 8 top teams make it in the playoffs, and we've got a lot of teams in that logjam right in the middle. For Radano, 2 huge games tonight could really boost themselves in the playoffs. First game coming up at 7 o'clock right away here against HiFi. What do they have to do in order to get things started off tonight with a win and then carry that into the second game?
Well, they've got a tough matchup tonight. Well, they've got 2 tough matchups tonight in HiFi House and Omega. They got to come out with at least 1 win tonight. They're sitting at 5-4 right now. Two losses would put them on the outside looking into the playoffs. So they're going to need to come out and get at least 1 win. And you're gonna assume that 1 win is going to come against HiFi House. So they're going to have to come out strong. That's key number 1. Come out strong. Don't take anything for granted, and don't conserve your players for game 2. Make sure you get at least 1 win. Come out strong in game 1, because Omega will be a tough matchup regardless of if they have tired legs or not, which they will in the second game. So you're going to have to come out in game 1 and not take anything for granted. Key number 2, get back on defense. Well, as we said before, HiFi is a team that loves to run. And if Radano can get back on defense, PTP ran on them earlier this year. If they can work out those kinks and get back on defense, they'll have an easier job of stopping HiFi House. Attack the basket early and get HiFi House in foul trouble is key number 3. Like we said earlier, HiFi House is an aggressive team that can get into foul trouble. So if you attack Shannon Givens, attack Sammy Givens, attack the players from HiFi House early, it should allow them to get HiFi House in trouble, and it'll allow them to open things up throughout the game.
There you go. Game 1 of the night coming up. Radano and HiFi House. Great game coming your way, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a short break.